There is much speculation on what specifically is and is not constituted as immersive technology, and therefore I need to definitively understand what attributes allow for such a state. By undertaking a historic inquiry, I can explore the existing field of knowledge surrounding technological developments and gain a succinct understanding of its timeline. This will then serve as the basis for a data analysis, which will compare chosen attributes to formulate a response. In modern society, the rise of the internet and rapidly advancing technologies have redefined mass communication techniques, shaping our desire to become more connected with technology. Griff explores the multiplicity of technology in everyday social interactions by suggesting that being able to access and use them has become a necessary precondition of participation today. The 21st century concept of commercialization in technology has also driven consumer products to exceed their counterparts and predecessors in order for linear success. An occurring method for achieving this is by modeling immersion into a constructive design element, which can be framed as an emerging trait in mainstream technology over the past few decades, primarily with the rise of virtual environments such as virtual reality or VR. In its own right, however, immersion is defined as a deep mental involvement in something, originating from the Latin immersio, or to dip. The primary employment of being deeply mentally involved in VR can be noted by the everyday consumers as the elements of visual and audio stimulation, perceived by our sensory understandings. This could suggest the concept of immersion in technology originated long before VR, potentially in our movie theaters with our understanding of moving images. The application of cinema unfolded at the turn of the 19th century, supported only as visual silent films. During the 1920s, broadcast radio became commercialized, and following this, sound became synchronized with film, designated originally as talkies, which became a global phenomenon in the 1930s. This generated a cascade of technological advancements, becoming increasingly more powerful and convenient for private consumption. The success of television in the 1950s pushed for more personalized viewing experiences, which subjugated people from the social shared space of the cinema into private family environments. Concurrent with the time was the birth of computing, in a somewhat inceptual state, which was housed in glass-enclosed climate-controlled rooms. These giant devices emitted at this point only 2D graphics, and adopted 3D visuals in home computing by the 1980s. This period also saw the first portable mobile devices, and shortly after, laptop computers were released for public consumption in the 1990s. In the subsequent decades, the smartphone became ubiquitous in popular consumer culture, this year marking 10 years since the release of the well-renowned Apple iPhone. Embedding itself alongside the technological advancements of the past few decades and viewed as a global consumer phenomenon is the rise of social media, a mass communication network for connection with real-life people and obtaining content with the digital metaverse. As explained in Cultures of Perception, contemporary societies are marked by their presence and use of information and communication technologies, exemplified by the burgeoning of social network sites and mobile media. Since this online conceptualization, technology has risen rapidly, continually resolving each medium to present innovation and strengthened quality. However, in the past few years, the development of a significantly new medium is being produced in the form of virtual reality. Penrose Studios' CEO and previous head of film and media at Oculus VR, Eugene Chung, believes VR is not a fad, but a platform for future technology and creative resolution. He states, "I never thought I would see the emergence of a new medium in my lifetime, because it's rare for it to happen." Despite its recent conceptualization and required improvement, VR is being marketed as the most immersive technology existent to date. Its potential benefits are being explored in many areas. For example, teaching and higher education, where Blessings and Wankel propose that advancements in both digital technologies and learning theories are transforming the way that we teach and learn. To explore any links or differences that depict the factors that constitute immersive technology, I chose to analyze a set of data for each immersive medium. As this thesis is molded around the relationships between immersive technology, the person and/or interior, I will structure my data to accommodate these key relationships. Therefore, in my analysis of immersive interfaces, I will segregate my data analysis into 3 relational categories: intention, experience, and interior. Each immersive interface was created with a specific intention, designed as a medium to present new material to a wider mass community. As identified, we can see information is connected to the user by two types: intentional and/or communicative information. Devices such as cinema, TV, radio, and even early computers were designed to show specifically predefined information for a specific purpose, whether this was educational or entertainment based. In other words, these immersive interfaces display media. Immersive devices introduced since then use a combination of predefined media with the ability to connect to communicational platforms, forming immersive technology into a media and social interface. Our understanding of spaces and objects is denoted by how they are sensed. As children, our preconceived notions of the senses were reduced to simply 5, dating back to aristocratic times. In her book, Creating Sensory Spaces, Barbara Irwin suggests our understanding of biological systems is much more complex. Many neurologists now identify 9 or more senses, and some claim that there are actually over 20. However, not all of these are essential to constructing our interior environment or the immersive technology relationship to this. In his book, Great Myths of the Brain, Christian Jarrett posits that if our discrete senses could be restricted to purely information, they would be limited to just 3. Mechanical, incorporating touch and hearing; chemical, incorporating taste, smell, and internal senses; and then light. As these findings suggest, immersive technology interfaces are constructed from only light, in this case visual, and/or mechanical senses, that of touch and sound. The sensory perception of touch has also only been a constructive element in immersive technology in the most recent decades, due to a shift in form. This has resulted in a visual and audio bias over the chemical senses. Due to their physical attributes, the interface of immersive technology must exist as a tangible object within our built environment. Through this research, I will examine the spatial association each form of technology possesses. The data here shows that a considerable shift has occurred in placement of space, and in turn, size. Earlier developments, including cinema and the original computer, were actually fixed in space. In this case, defining a new interiority by having space constructed around their physicality. Other developments included the television and desktop computer, which are temporarily fixed in space, becoming space-specific, in which their location was determined by their purpose. Immersive technology has also seen a decrease in size. The last few decades of technological advancements have brought with them a dramatic reduction in object mass. This has freed objects from their specificity of space, allowing their presence to be introduced into any interior environment. Cycle 1 has explored the attributes and factors which holistically define technology as immersive, whether in its previous or current form. Important to understand is that immersive technology as an element is defined by its characteristic to be a more developed version of the predecessor of that medium. However, this is not necessarily linear to the timeline of overall immersive technology. For example, the cinema experience may be conceived as more immersive than a smartphone for video display, but the two remain separate as they have both undertaken considerable innovation and are continually used as immersive mediums. As found in the collection of data, immersive technology consists of many factors, which I have divided up into 2 categories of existing and emerging traits. There is a significant visual and audio sensory bias, with immersive technology resulting in potential overstimulation. Immersive technology is used as a medium for informational display, either as educational or entertainment use. Newer emerging interfaces have become increasingly smaller and more portable than their predecessors, resulting in their function becoming non-grounded to an interior environment. New devices now incorporate social interaction capabilities through what is known as cyberspace in association with predefined media. This is caused through a combining of technological purposes into one device. For example, the smartphone being a combination of a computer, telephone, camera, and a great deal more. Immersive technology is formed from a combination of many factors, caused by the change in intentional, experiential, and interior relationships. If the desired role of immersive technology was to originally be used as an effective medium for information display, then the accessibility to cyberspace is important to understand, as it focuses on the shift to immersive technology in today's physical environment. Cyberspace consists of both predefined media and communicational aspects, and understanding the shift to cyber communication in comparison to the interior environment is an essential factor which requires exploration. Cycle 2 will in this case form an inquiry into the tangible and cyber-social spaces, contrasting their existing experiential qualities and building an understanding for their differences as to determine the effect on this shift.